Good morning, everyone. Is it still morning already? My name is Tamara Baker, and as Project and Communications Director for No Kid Hungry, North Carolina, and part of the original founding team. I'm thrilled that I get the opportunity every day to work on summer nutrition programs and on at-risk after-school meal programs. And there's a lot of opportunity with both those programs, and I'm excited you're going to hear more about the people who do that work and put in those hours and have that investment. So it was really a pleasure to hear Dr. Cohen talking about the at-risk after-school meals program, and our next two speakers are going to tell you more about both and one of these. You'll hear in a moment. But before, I was so thrilled that Dr. Cohen pointed out her Department of Health and Human Services employees who were here, and I want to recognize the employees who were part of the Department of Public Instruction who administer the summer nutrition program. Cynthia, if you'll stand up, and your team, anyone on your team will stand up quickly. McCamey, Victoria, great, so great team there. So this is where we've talked a lot about different programs, and we've talked about school breakfast, and we've talked a little bit about after-school meals, but now we're going to talk about summer meals and as well throughout the day. So just get it conditioned in your mind. There are candidates in this room who should be serving at-risk after-school meals, and it's not just the school food authorities, it's also the community partners. And big shout out to our partner in the conference, the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina. They have converted many of their after-school programs to these at-risk after-school meal programs where the federal dollars are accessed. All we're talking about with these nutrition programs are federal dollars, low-hanging fruit, already available. Your tax dollars have paid for these programs. Let's use them, let's access them. So thank you so much for recognition, and I give great recognition to these state agencies, and thank you. You're going to hear a lot more about summer meals later. But first, you're going to hear from Lisa Altmann, who is the School Nutrition Director for Rowan-Salisbury Schools, and I'm hearing a shout out here, woohoo, to Salisbury. Am I saying it right? Okay. Lisa is amazing. She's very intentional about making sure that every day she asks herself the question, what can I do to serve more children? And I have just seen phenomenal things happen from their Yum Yum bus in the summer where they go out and feed kids and do amazing things. And then at Christmas, then they give them presents through that Yum Yum bus, that nutrition education. They do all kinds of great things. And she was one of the first. Among those 18 school food authorities that are serving at-risk after-school meals, she was one of the first that came on board, and we're so excited. There was a streamlined process set up for bringing those school food authorities on board. And Carla Wheeler at the Department of Public Instruction is your first point person to help coordinate that. Is Carla here today? Oh no, new grandmother. She trumps us, I guess, in terms of her priorities today. But as Dr. Lynn Harvey says here, this is a priority, and this program is also a priority for us. And if you want to get started in your school food authority, then please check in with us and we'll point you in the right direction. But Carla Wheeler is going to be your contact at Department of Public Instruction, and Karen Lainez Ruby is going to be your liaison at the Department of Health and Human Services. But first, we're going to hear from Lisa, and she's going to share us more about what we call out-of-school time meals, serving both summer meals and the at-risk after-school meals.
Good morning, and thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the shout out that Rowan-Salisbury got earlier. We didn't know we were going to get that, but it was very exciting for us. I do want to thank everybody for having us be here, but I am not the one that's amazing. The team that I work with is amazing, and they go out of their realm every day to make sure our students are taken care of. And then when school is out, we continue to make sure that. So we have a very strong summer meals program, very supported from our district with that. And we realized that that might not be enough. And so the at-risk supper program after meals thing came up. So we thought, well, we just dove right into it with one school. And then the very next year, we decided to add 10 more. So I'm probably one of the most out-of-the-box thinkers, and sometimes that scares my staff, but it's okay because we keep feed the kids in front of our minds at all times. So the at-risk after-school meal program we have it in 11 of our 34 schools. It is very easy to manage. We feed, you're going to hear from an athletic director a little bit later, but in that particular high school, we can do anywhere from 30 to 130 meals a day after school. It ranges from athletes that might be there to go over plays. It might be there for tutoring, driver's ed. So it's open to any student that's on campus after school. And I would encourage anybody that's not doing it to do it, because these students don't have food. The school that we're talking about in particular today is about 70% free and reduced. And so school starts at 8:30, and then they have breakfast and then lunch, then they have after school, but they don't get home till 8 or 9 if they play sports or if they, do anything else, or they may not have food when they get home. The program has a lot of benefits to it. It's just amazing. Staffing, some people might be out here going, well, how do you staff it? Those were all the questions, how do you do that with limited resources? It's doable. It's very doable without incurring overtime. And again, if you keep the student as the front runner in the whole process, the rest of it falls in place. It's easy to manage. The food is easy to prepare. We would be glad to help anybody that would be interested in talking about it. There's ways for people that have away games or sports like that. Karen has been instrumental in helping me understand the regulations and rules, and I think, kind of taught each other a few things last year when we did realize that you could actually take it to away games. So there's so many things that this program can do to benefit your students. So I would encourage anybody to do it, talk to us, and summer's the same way. We do have Yum Yum buses. I don't know how many of you have heard about our Yum Yum buses, but we have an amazing team that we work with. We also have a very supportive community and administration with our school district, and that's probably also the key to any of these programs, is you've got to have the buy-in from administration. You have to have the buy-in from the community, because you may need some outside resources or help. So our Yum Yum buses, the thing that we have on our brains for the future is we're trying to get them equipped with technology where we can go out into the community, and I haven't asked anybody about the regulations with this yet, but it'll come after I talk about this. So we would like to be able to take these buses out into the communities in the afternoons or evenings with teacher assistants on it. Our district is a one-to-one. Every student has a device. So again, if you talk about these students and their homes that are food insecure, more than likely they don't have internet. They don't have those resources to be able to do their homework, their assignments, their projects. So we've kind of toyed with the idea of, if we can equip the buses to have that technology, figure out how we can get out there with, educational professionals on the bus with us, with maybe a snack or an at-risk, a meal afterwards. But again, I have to talk to people about that first to make sure it's legal. But again, it's an awesome program. It takes the whole team working together, and it's amazing to be here. And every year, I think we've been to every single one of these conferences, and they're awesome. It's awesome to hear all the people out here that have the same goal that we do. But thank you.